already trickling in. I am so excited about this session, this panel of genius. Y'all go ahead right now and start putting your questions in the chat. I figure we'll just kind of start off with a little conversation while we can get those questions coming in. Because I was telling the ladies, I was like, after each session I've had some really great questions, follow-up questions, kind of people wanting more details. So I thought, why not get the whole gang back together? And then, of course, we have the lovely Miss Susan Weese joining us this week. And I am so happy about that. So I figured we'd just chat for a little bit, let some of the questions come in. And I did write down some of the questions that I got from everybody else, just in case, you know, everybody was shy all of a sudden on the chats. We were just talking about how it's finally cooling down over here in Dallas. And then Susan was like, walk outside in the evenings here. It's like 50s. Oh, I'm so jealous. Oh my goodness. The warm weather here. I'm a warm weather girl, but I'm done with it. I'm done. Ready for something else. So let me get these.
I'm only a warm weather girl if I'm in the water. That's it.
Yeah, absolutely. I know. Luckily, my mom and dad have a nice pool at their house because we're always in the pool during the summer. Otherwise, you know, you can't handle the 110-degree summers without one. So
we're on the boat.
Oh,
yes, I'm coming to visit you.
Seriously, I'm coming too. Okay.
I saw Patty on too. Hey, everyone.
Yes, there's Tammy. Okay, I did hear from April, and I don't think she's going to be able to join us, but I figured, why don't we just go ahead and get started? Because I did get some questions, like I said, afterwards, and I jotted those down. So we'll go ahead and get kicked off. I have like 3 or 4 for each of you. And then, like I said, all of the attendees, all of you who are joining us here, feel free to ask them questions. Oh, y'all, I almost forgot something very important.
The drawing.
You see what this is?
It's drawing.
You guys are like, wait a second, Logan, come on, let's do this drawing. Okay, I almost forgot, but I've got it. My husband, my lovely husband, Steven, is my sidekick, and he got it set up for me this evening, and I have a tiny little mini bowl this week. So let me get the names in front of me, and we're going to give shout outs to those ladies who have done absolutely amazing job at continuing to sponsor over and over and over again. And we actually surpassed our 30, and we have 31. So we're going to be drawing for those next 10 just through 30 tonight. And I think it was Miss Tammy who got put at spot number 31. So she's part of the next 10, which just means we need to get busy and get the other 9 so that Tammy can be included in the drawing. Okay, here we go. So our third 10 who have all sponsored new consultants, we've got Nicole Dunn, Shirley Spence, Tammy Clary, Kristel Martin, Cathy Budjenska, Vicki Bryson, Susan Weese,
Twice.
Ruiz, Kristel Martin again.
Yeah.
Awesome. And I said Dory, it was Doris. I'm sorry. So we've got those fabulous 10 ladies. Guys, give them a little shout out in the chat. Awesome job. You guys are absolutely crushing it. And I have all names. Hang on, they're all stuck together. I have all of your names in the tiny little mini bowl. You know the drill. I'm not going to look. I'm just separating them all. I think it was, who is it? We've got Kristel in there twice. We've got Susan in there twice. Odds are looking good, ladies. Come on. Okay, here we go. I'm going to be drawing. The first one is going to be for that new consultant kit. And it is Kristel Martin. Awesome job. Okay, and then we've got that second one for the $50 gift card. So let's see. I'm not gonna.
Come on, Susan.
A mini bowl. Let's go.
Come on, Cathy, Susan. What?
Tammy Clary.
Oh,
fearless leader. Awesome job. Okay, I'm going to keep those pulled aside. Oh, guys, I love these drawings. It's so fun. We just got to keep sponsoring, you know, keep the drawings going. Let's keep them going. Okay, I'm trying to make notes. I saw some questions come in too. Let me copy and paste that. Okay. Whew. So now that we have the fun out of the way, we're going to continue with some more fun, clearly, and get rolling with the questions. So hang on, let me. Okay, click. So first up, we're going to start with Miss Susan. And I know we got to talk about with some of the other ladies where they met these new consultants that they sponsored. We haven't talked to you just yet. So I wanted to hear from your perspective with your 2 new consultants in this last drawing. How did you meet them? So like, where did you know them from? And then how did you decide to share the opportunity with them? So why was it the right time?
Well, the first one was actually a good friend of mine, and she was a co-worker from another company that we worked at.
Okay.
And she was one of the top producers. We were in sales together, so she was a top producer in the company. Well, she retired, and so it was just kind of a perfect timing. So she contacted me, and we talked about the beauty case. I always give them options. And my first option is always the beauty kit,
Yep.
the opportunity. And with her background, it was just a shoe-in because she's going to be perfect at it. She really is. So it was a good friend, and she was a former client of mine also. So that's
Okay, so she had tried the products before.
yeah. Oh yes, she had. So and it was just the perfect timing with it.
Yeah.
And the other lady, this is really a cute story. I had a doctor's appointment. And I went and I talk to everybody all the time. So we went into the room, and she's asked me my birth date, and I gave her that. You know, you give them all the information. So she keeps going on, and then she comes back and she goes, "What's your birth date again?" Of course, I have a mask on then, you know.
Right.
And I pulled it down. And I said, "Yes, I'm 70 years old." And she goes, "You got to be kidding me." So she was just amazed at my skin. So of course I just segue right into Truora and the products, the BioLift, you know, the different ones. And I always, on my phone, I have a before and after pictures of myself when I first started using it. So I showed her that. So we just kept talking, and she was just very interested. And then what we did is I got her information, and I sent her samples. And so then the way I shared it with her was the same way as I just went into it. This is your options, you know, the beauty kit, TLC, or retail.
Love it.
So, yeah.
And she took you up on the beauty kit. Clearly, that is awesome.
Well, it's the best deal.
Absolutely, it's the best deal. Oh my goodness. And you just gave the perfect example of what Cathy was saying. When we got on here, Cathy was like, "Kristel, I loved what you said last week when you were on about being a product of the product."
Oh, yes.
Because that is exactly what we are. And that, Susan, that's the perfect example of literally just repping the skin you're in, because the products speak for themselves. They truly do.
Yeah.
And they start conversations clearly. So I love that. So obviously you shared the opportunity because she asked the question. She walked right into it. And then Kristel, what did you say to your new consultants you onboarded to start the conversation? So I know we talked a little bit about that as well. So kind of a similar question to the one from Susan. I guess someone just wanted to know how you started that conversation with them.
As in the one I just got today, or my new ones I just received like before? The one I got today?
You know, let's go with the one today. Perfect.
So I've been talking more to men lately because men have skin.
Yeah.
Yes, they do.
And so the funny thing is like I've been having really good conversations with them, and they're, you know, the BioLift is I love. Thank you, Gary. You do,
Gary, yes.
and you taught us well. And so you know what? Everybody has skin. They all need to use it. So my new one is a man, and the woman that they're with, she's like, "I'm tired of, you know, sharing my stuff. You need to, you know, get this." The man is using it, and I'm tired of sharing it. So they need to have their own thing. And another gentleman that's going to be joining me as well, he started with the BioLift. And, you know, he's really, I actually was talking about trying to get his wife on it. And he's like, no, my wife doesn't do anything. I'm the one that uses more skincare. And so by his comment with that a few weeks ago, really got me thinking I needed to talk to more men. Because and when I go and get a pedicure and a manicure, there's 20, probably 40% more men walking in this last year than what I've seen in the last couple of years. Wow. So I really started thinking about, I really need to open up my eyes and say, I need to start approaching more men about this and asking women, you know, are your men using the skincare while they're in the shower? Is your cleanser going down faster? Is your BioLift being used more? Is your tonic, halfway used, because it's a great, solution after, shaving, a shave balm, so that's how I approached it. And that's how I recruited him.
Yeah, I feel like so many times we're kind of missing out on that market. I mean, you're so right, especially even for married couples, whether they don't take you up on the opportunity, but if it's a retail customer, making that switch to a loyalty customer because they're eating up more product and having to double up on their orders. I think those are great questions to ask that we really don't think of all the time.
Yeah, these were roommates, and she's like, tell the person to quit using my stuff. And so I was like, okay. And so, yeah, they were customers. And so I was like, okay, I'll start working on that. And they decided to join.
Absolutely.
It's fun that you said that, Kristel, because when I was in the nail salon, it's been about 10 days ago, there were 3 men getting pedicures. And I always have a back pocket full of cards. And I gave every one of them a card. And I've heard from one of them just in the last few days.
Oh,
so we reach to that one soon. But that's a great place.
I love it. Oh my goodness. All of you guys got your product ready to go. But Cathy, that kind of brings me to my next question. I wanted you to share a little bit about the success that you've seen in your parties recently, because I know we talked about that. You were helping host some parties and just like TLC after TLC after TLC. And I know we're talking about sponsoring here, but also when you're reaching those new customers, those are all potential consultants.
Yeah.
So I want to just hear a little bit more about that.
I have one lady that's probably going to be a consultant within the next week or so. And we met at a party, and she became a TLC at the first party she was at. So yes, parties are they are a gold mine. They're just the bomb. So yeah, I have a party coming up it's October, and the lady texted me and asked if I could have, well, now she's up to like 24 people. Can we have 24 people? And I went, of course we can have 24 people. I may have to fly Tammy in, but we can have 24 people. But no, I started out with talking about what the hostess needs to have a successful party. And then the first thing I go into is the opportunity that we have to offer. And then TLC, and then, then we go into all the products. But I have, my very first party that I had, my very first in-person party, I think I came away with 10 or 11 TLCs. And then, and it's fun that so far I have experienced a big group of women that are all in supporting each other. So what I've had to kind of juggle is their TLCs, getting those taken care of first, and then having them so that they can have their product for their party. So that's kind of a crazy, but they all understand that they have to do their TLC, and then they are all supportive of the hostess, and so they come up with their hostess order. But this next one should be an experience, because several of the women that are going to be at my next party have been to one before, but there's probably going to be about 15, 17 that have never heard of True Aura. But we're getting a lot of great feedback, because all of those people who've never been to a party, who've never heard about True Aura, who aren't on my Facebook page or anything, I sent several of Gary's videos to the hostess, and she forwarded them on to. No, she gave me their numbers. So I gave them the Why True Aura, the Getting Started, the core four, and I've sent them about 5 videos so that when they come into the party, they'll have some knowledge of what we are and who we are.
That's perfect. So kind of preloading them with that information. I did, and this can be really for any of you guys that have done, whether it be a virtual or a face-to-face event. I did have a couple of questions from a few different people about how you are talking about the opportunity and the products and TLC, things like that. I guess for someone who's more nervous and they don't know exactly what to say, how do you get that practice with delivering, hey, this is the opportunity? I guess they're kind of asking not for a script, but how are you doing that?
Well, what I do with mine is I do one-on-ones, or I do group facials and makeover. So what I'm doing is we go through the products, and then so as we're going through there, I keep planting seeds, like, you know, do you want to save money? Do you like to make money? You know, and I also ask for referrals too. That's a big thing for people that want to do this. But as I'm going through the process of it and showing the products, then I will talk to them about that. Then at the end, I give them a price sheet. And on the price sheet, it has the retail, the TLC, and the opportunity. So I just say to them, say, these are your 3 options. So with the opportunity, you know, the beauty case is this, and then you get 40%, you know, the first 60 days. I explain to them what they get. I don't go into a lot of detail, just to kind of around the edges. Then the TLC, what they get, and retail. Then the key thing there is once you tell them, be quiet and let them tell you what they want. Because the first one that speaks, we're taught the first one that speaks loses. So if you start talking, you lose the sale. But if they start talking, they lose the money. So we're good.
I love it. Oh my goodness. That's awesome though. Okay. So you kind of have something typed out prior to that you give them, so they have all of their options laid out.
That's right. Yes.
I think that's great, especially for someone who might be doing their first event, kind of having that. And it's something for you to look at too, you know, so you're not just standing up there like, I don't know what I'm about to say. Exactly.
Panic mode.
Oh, yeah, and I think you know, I think we all have those kind of scripts, and it's all laid out. But I think if you, especially if you're brand new, we've all start from somewhere. And I think sharing other people's stories, you don't have to have your own story. You know, share your passion about a product. We all have a product that we love. But then if you don't have a success story, you know, something of, you know, not everybody has had acne. You know, you don't have to have acne to share that story, but we know somebody within our Truora family that has had it. And I think you can share those stories because they're still testimonies. They don't have to be your very own testimony, but they're a Truora testimony. And I think that just shows that we're all human. And I know one thing is huge. I'm kind of OCD, but I don't want to show that, you know, I love product and I'm a product of the product, but we don't have to know everything. And I think, you know, I have a binder that has every product profile in it. And we need to have that binder and show that, you know, that's how easy this, I love your cat.
I know.
We have to have that product profile there, that it shows that you can print it off and you can do your business just like this. You don't have to know it, or better yet, you know, when they want to know about it, hand them the bottle and have them read it. And I think that's something that we need to let everybody know. They don't have to know everything that's in a product. It's all about their personal experience, how they feel about it, what makes them feel good about it. And then they can read about it if they want to know the ins and outs, or pick up their phone and read the product knowledge about it. And that's how easy this business is.
It really is. And I love that you said that, because it really bodes well with the whole sharing authentically thing. Nobody is going to think, oh, wow, I could do that, when they sit there and have someone who's memorized all these fancy names of peptides. You know what I mean? And it goes the same way when you're sharing on social media, you know, and I love here that we all do share resources, but you don't want to share anything that's not authentic to who you are.
And nobody can sound as eloquently as Gary on the computer. I'm sorry, Tuesday night, Gary just blew. I mean, his words are just over the top great, and we know it because he knows his stuff. And we can use some of his words, but pick one or two of them, and then we're all, you know, we all sound as great and intelligent as he does.
Amen. That's right. We all need to pretend to be Gary. That's who we need to pretend to be. I love it. Okay, this is another one I got, and I love this one because honestly, this is what I would think too. I'm worried about overwhelming new consultants. How do I help them start without making them freak out? I think that's great though, because you know, it's real life, real feelings. Like, I don't want to overwhelm them. They just decided to do this opportunity. I want to be there to support them, but how do I help them get started in a way that's not like, here's these 20 steps that you need to take in the next week? What have you guys done with your new consultants or the ones that were sponsored like today? What is your plan to help them get started without scaring them away?
Well, what I do is the first thing is I get them plugged in, like to plug into our team page. You know, of course, we're with Tammy's group, our group page with Gary, so they can learn, you know, the knowledge that they need to have with that. Yeah. And then I meet with them on a one-on-one basis and go over certain steps with them. Like I just did a training video for some of my new people, kind of giving steps to go with what they need to do to get started, because you don't want to overwhelm with too much information. But one of the first things I have them do is to maybe set their goals of what they'd like to earn, and I can show them how to do that. Then the next thing is getting them set up with the Share app, because I love the Share app. That is one of the most awesome tools
so good
we've had in a long time. So I get them plugged in with that too, because so they can start sharing immediately with their clients and stuff. And then I have them to carry the products. Like one of mine is a nurse, so I have her take the hand cream and start sharing it. So just simple products that they like, just start sharing that with 3 to 5 people a day or something like that.
I love that. Okay. Is that similar to what you guys are doing, Kristel and Cathy?
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Share app is huge. And I think if they can just use the Share app, you know, with 3 to 5 people, you know, whether it be a day or a week, I mean, just to keep them moving and going, you know, taking a step, you know, every day, just something keeping them going. Because if you stop, then that's what's going to happen completely. Whether they just want to do it for their products to share with friends and family, or do it as, you know, as a side gig and make some good money, that's their choice. But we put that business opportunity in front of them, and that's what they need to do. And we gave them that business opportunity. They can make it and, you know, go to the top, or they can keep it as, you know, as big as small as what they choose.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's part of what's so great about it in this side gig culture, that it really is exactly what you want to make it. People with full-time jobs doing this, and then people who this is their full-time job, you can kind of make it whatever it is. So I think it's important not only to know exactly what your new consultant is looking for in this business. Like, I think it's great, Susan, that you said, what's your goal for what you want to make? What do you want out of this? What's your why? Which is what our Getting Started guide says, right at the very beginning. Let's identify your why and go from there. What are you looking for? And then I think all of you, Susan, do you do launch party with your new consultants as well? I know Cathy and Kristel, you guys said you were doing. How do they launch their business? I know you just talked about like some tips on how to get them started, but do any of your new consultants do events to launch their business?
If they want to, I ask them. So what we do is I ask them if they want to do that. And if they do, I mean, I go help them with it. Or if they want to do a virtual one, we'll do that also. But yeah, they can, or pop the box. We call it pop the box too, where they just show it. So I try to show them how to do a lot on social media.
Yeah.
And I think that's awesome, you know, with just showing the images or doing it yourself or taking a picture with the product or whatever you are, but talk about it. But yes, I do that with them. Okay. Because I show them the gifts that they're going to get, so they have something to work for. So
absolutely. all those incentives. I mean, there really is. There's so many reasons why to do it. That's perfect. And like you guys said, we have such great resources as a company. I think that first step to this person who asked this question, it was prior to our live starting, is kind of getting them connected. That's what it sounds like the consensus is, getting connected with your team, but then also with the company, right? Making sure to tell them about Gary's Tuesdays, his live, to learn more about the product, opportunities like that. And of course, these Wednesday evenings that I think are fantastic, Better Together trainings. So it really is all about getting them connected. Okay.
Can I share something that I had? So I had a great conversation with somebody yesterday that it's actually a family member of mine that has had a great career with Louis Vuitton. He was actually also with Disney he's been with Disney Paris, Tokyo, and he's traveled the world, and he's now with Louis Vuitton, and he runs like 300 stores because they condensed, and so he manages like 300 stores, and now they're like in all over the place. So I was talking with him yesterday, and he'll be joining my team soon. Because he's my man. I'm gonna have you on my team soon, because he's just such a great salesperson. But one thing that I did learn from him that is a big threat to Louis Vuitton and Chanel or any of the big companies that way is us. Anybody that does a lot of social media, whether it be Facebook, whether it be TikTok, whether it be Instagram, they are chasing us because every time that any of the social marketers, any of the sellers, because anything that we do, they have to go and chase us because we are the marketers. We're the marketers on that. So they're realizing that anything that we're doing is creating the market for what they have to do. Yeah. So Louis Vuitton and all of your name brands are really chasing us, which that's a really good thing to think about, that we're like, I was like, wow, they're like having to change their marketing and everything they do. They used to be doing it like, 18 months to 2 years out. Now they're doing it like 3 months to 6 months out, because of the fact that we're changing their deliverables every time that somebody gets on and does something, it changes the market for them.
You're so
right.
right.
Keep up. We need to keep up and just keep them running.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love it. And that really goes to show you how big social selling and that marketing is. Us being a product of our product, we are the marketing, essentially, right? Us on Facebook, when we're on Instagram, when we share the product and those graphics, that's what we are doing. Which I saw this question here. I'm not sure about the demographic of your new consultants, but we had someone tonight ask, can you share some words and or phrases that would appeal to a younger generation and interest them in the business and open a conversation? Like I said, I'm not sure if any of your new consultants are younger, in the younger generation. But the first thing that pops to my mind is that social selling, right? Being an active presence on social media. And I am young. And I think part of the thing that I struggle with getting any of my young friends to kind of jump on it is us youngins don't want to feel like we are stuck in something, if that makes sense, because they feel like if they join this business, they can't get out of it. Number one, because I think in the past, direct sales and social selling has gotten a bad rap for being annoying and following up, which I love that we're doing this whole segment on sharing authentically, because it doesn't have to be, you know what I mean? And I think that so many times the younger generations just don't want to take that leap because they don't want to be stuck. So I think kind of just making it seem, because it is a part of your everyday life, right? It's so realistic. It's so attainable. It's so authentic because these are great products that I use, right? I use them every single day. They work. Why not make some money and sell these products that I'm passionate about? It doesn't mean that you're stuck anywhere. Obviously, we'll want to start with the opportunity, but someone who tries and the opportunity isn't a good fit, it's not game over, right? They move right down to a TLC. So that would just kind of be my take. I mean, clearly I don't have any younger people under me on my team. But I think that's the hesitation there with so many people from the younger generation. So just being as authentic as you can and making sure that you have a presence on social media, because everyone is on social media, the younger generation. So I don't know if you guys have any thoughts to add on that, but that's just kind of my thought.
I think the same thing. I think that they're so fast paced. They want to go. I mean, everything's like an instant gratification, and I think that they need to be made aware of also that instant gratification. They get a paycheck every week, and I think a lot of people, they, you know, when they're bringing them in, you need to make sure that they know you can get a paycheck every week with Chirora. You're not in a monthly. You know, it's not monthly, and when you sell a product, you know, you're making commission right then, you know, you're getting a profit right then, you know, because you're getting your Hyper Wallet back next week. So you need to make sure that they're aware of those items, because it's an instant gratification world. And our day and age now, they're very privileged. They have that privileged mentality. So they need to you need to kind of let them know that, you know, our skincare, you know, our BioLift, you can see stuff right now. You know, so things like that, you need to get let in, you know, our mist, you know, there's things that, you know, you show things right then that they can see things immediately, because that's what our society is right now, is instant gratification. So they want to make sure that things that they see, feel, touch, that they can see and get gratification immediately from.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. And especially when it comes to skincare, because of that needing instant gratification, they're like, I want to either see or feel a difference immediately when I use these products. And luckily our products are fantastic. So
right. You know, our cleanser, I mean, you can feel the difference in our cleanser, the feel and the softness and the moisture in our skin, you can feel it immediately.
Absolutely. I know with those 3-day samples, they say like, you're not gonna really see any lasting changes after 3 days. And I know you're not going to see any drastic changes, but every single person that I sent a sample to responded, and they were like, no, I felt a huge difference in my skin, even after using it for one night, which I think is huge with that younger generation. Like you said, Kristel, absolutely. I think that's part of the problem. And then Pete from The Office actually sent me this really awesome article right before tonight. And he said, if you Google the Great Resignation, which I didn't know was even a thing, there are a lot of articles, but thinking this might be good when talking about sponsoring, because people are looking for a career that fits with their every single day. So I looked at the article that he sent me and then looked up a couple more, and so many people, especially people in a younger generation, they want things to be easy. They want things to be now. They're moving towards that online, especially after COVID. Now that things are remote, people are just up and quitting their jobs, right? They're looking for this job that fits with the lifestyle that they want, that fast pace, that now that, hey, this is easy for me, I'm going to work from home. I think that hits home for a lot of the younger generations. They want something to be easy. You know what I mean? And this business, it's perfect.
I have one of my new consultants is 24 years old, and she kind of said, I don't know if I really have time for this, but we were talking about social media. Mm-hmm. And she said, well, I do makeup videos on YouTube and I have Facebook, and I'm going, what sticks in my head is before Empower, I was watching Sarah Rodak, and she said, I love, and the terminology stuck, I love that I can do this business in the nooks and crannies of time. Mm-hmm. And so that's what I have shared, because in your car, in your, in the grocery store parking lot, if a call comes in, or if you need to stick a post out real fast, if a sale comes through, or, whatever, you can do it in a heartbeat from anywhere. But I think what's really resonating with the younger crowd is, especially with COVID, when they couldn't go into the office and they had to work from home, if you have a Wi-Fi, it doesn't necessarily have to be home. It can be anywhere. Well, one time for me, when I trade stock, we were in Hawaii, and if you have a Wi-Fi, but I was in a play and I thought, oh my gosh, I didn't get out of this stock play before we went to Hawaii. And so I set my alarm for 3:30 in the morning, because that's when the stock market opened in Hawaii. But still, I could get in at 3:30 in the morning, do what I needed to do. The same holds true here. It doesn't matter where you are, in the mountains, at the beach, or, you know, whatever. You can work while you're having fun, while you're vacationing, while you're taking care of the kids, while you're, you know, going to daycare, while it doesn't matter. And I think that's one of the things that is so brilliant that we can share with the younger generation, because they just now, like some of mine, just now really gotten into the workforce. And now they're realizing, oh, we do have to go in every day, and we didn't have to like last year. And so this makes a huge impact that, hey, you know, you could turn this into something that you don't have to go to the office 9 to 5, and she loves that.
Absolutely. I think it's the perfect fit for so many of the younger crowd who want it to be easy like that. And, you know, it made me think, you talked about your new consultant who's like, well, I do like beauty videos on YouTube and stuff. Guys, there are so many people that are my age and younger who could do what we are doing without even thinking about it. Unintentionally, that make videos that go live, that are doing tutorials on how, here's the products that I used. They don't have to be big influencers, but it's just something that people do on social media. You know, they share like, oh, this is the makeup that I'm using. This is how I did my eyeshadow today. So y'all, your friends' daughters,
you're working it.
Grandkids. I mean, if they're posting selfies like, hey, what makeup are you using? Do you want to try this? Simple as that, because a lot of the times me and my mom were actually talking about today about Kennedy, my younger sister. And I was like, you know, this is something that she would absolutely crush, because she's on social media on her phone all the time doing, if she just literally took a second to record herself doing makeup or share the makeup product she used, that's what we're doing, right? It doesn't have to be this huge salesy thing. You're just sharing products that are great. So. Right.
Well, this past week, I went into, I work with local hair design schools here. So, and so I went into one and I met 2 ladies, and they're both in school. So I talked to them about that. I just gave them my cards and I said, if you need a little extra money, and they both perked up because they need extra money, you know, going to school. And that's one thing I go into. I just say, well, our company is a cutting edge with this new products, and we do skincare, we do makeup. And it's online, you know, it's social media, and they love that. Yes. So we're booking next week.
That is perfect.
So
that's absolutely perfect.
They're into hair. So the hair and the makeup go together. And one of them does weddings. And so I told her, I said, well, I do the same thing. I team up with someone and we do hair and makeup. And so, you know, it just all flowed together. So that was perfect. So to ask everybody. I just ask everybody. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. You're like, I talk to anybody. I talk to everybody. You got to do it though, right? I mean, that's how we get the word out. And you know, we're such a baby company with amazing things to offer. You got to tell people about it, right? Otherwise.
I embarrassed my kids and my grandkids because they go like, Mom, really? And I go, yeah, that's what pays the bills.
That's right.
One other thing about the younger generation is that before Empower, Pete put out that challenge to do Instagram Reels. I'd never done an Instagram Reel ever. And so, and I was too late getting one together, but I was bound and determined to learn how to do some of the quick changes and the fun things. Yes. It took me the entire day. My 7-year-old granddaughter does it Reels. I mean, her and my 12-year-old granddaughter, they do them all day long. So what's hard for me that I know I have to be able to do and know how to do to be better at presenting my product in a new, you know, in the more fashionable way, in the hip way, the new way. Yeah. They've been doing it in their sleep. So that's a huge selling point, or to bring them in, because they already have the skills that I have to work forever to learn how to do and do. It's like second nature to them now. So the younger generation.
No, you're exactly right. I mean, first of all, kudos to you for taking the time to learn how to do that, because clearly it's working. You're crushing it with sponsoring. So awesome for taking the time to learn how to do that. But you're exactly right. I mean, it's so innate to this younger generation that it's kind of like, why not, you know? But that was a great question, because I think it's really, really important to introduce our product to the younger generation. Okay, I'm scrolling through, making sure I didn't miss any other questions. If you have any more, drop them in the chat. I know it's already 8:40, but I feel like we got a lot of good information. Nancy, that's exactly right. She watched Empower on Saturday from Zambia. You can do it from anywhere, y'all, anywhere. Okay, scrolling up, awesome information. Yes, you guys, thank you so much for taking the time to join us, two of you again, because I know you've already been on, but I think these were some great clarifying questions. I know some people who haven't done events yet, I think that was most of the questions I've gotten. They said that, you know, they kind of went into how they do launch events for their new consultants, but didn't really give any details. So I kind of just want to go over that one more time. And what it sounded like to me, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounded like to me, you guys give your new consultants the option to do a launch event. So it's their choice. It can either be virtual or it can be in person. And you guys are the ones helping them host that. And you're going to kind of model what that would look like for them, right? So it sounds like you guys are starting with the opportunity. And if you're looking for, I know some people are actually looking for specific words to say, y'all, the Share app, the app that they're talking about, there is any information on anything that you would ever need to know about the company and the products and TLC in that app. And then obviously the website. If you are someone who's like, I don't want to remember what I have to say, pull up True's website on your phone at the party and literally just go tab by tab. That's a great way to do it. If you're really, really nervous and you need something to read, you can do what Susan did, print it off ahead of time, have one for you, one for the rest of your guests. But I think that the most important thing is, number one, sharing the opportunity, because, you know, Tammy has taught all of us to start with that opportunity. We start with the opportunity, then you go to TLC, then you go to retail customer, but sharing those products, and it's fun, you know, those events, and they don't have to do a launch event. So I got that question too. It's not something that you have to do, but I think it's always a good idea to start with an event, because that's your immediate, you know, friends and family. Start with those people that you know who are going to support you. Thank you, ladies. Enjoyed every minute. Amazing, ladies. Aren't they amazing? You guys rock. Okay. I don't think we have any more questions. Is there anything else that you guys want to add? Cathy? Yes. Okay.
Yes. So I had someone ask about things to talk about and wording and what do you say? And something that I found that was really helpful for me, that I don't think I've even told anybody to do this, but I do watch like Gary's videos and stuff like that, or not watch them, but when I'm working around the house, I'll listen to them so that I hear the words in my head over and over and over again. But something else that I did that was real helpful for me was that if you go to our website and you hit the drop down box in the top left and go to the blog, I will highlight and download those articles into a file on my phone. And then when I'm driving, I have an app that's like a talk to text or text to talk or a read aloud, or there's several out there. And what that app does is you just click on which file you want it to read to you, and it reads the article. And I'll listen to those like 3 or 4 or 5 times in a row, and get some really great information that's not on a sales sheet, but it's just something that if you've heard it enough, you can just kind of give it back.
That's amazing.
Just,
kind of like a podcast, built-in podcast.
It's a great little app, and they're like, it's text to talk, read aloud. If you put read aloud in your app store, several will pop up, but it's really a great source to just kind of get some new things in your head. Yeah, but that's one of the things that I did that I don't think I've shared that with anybody. Just kind of every time I think about it, I forget to tell somebody.
Perfect. No, that's perfect. I love that too, because I love that Kristel said you don't need to know everything, but it's nice, like she said, to have those, like, I don't know, 2 products or 2 ingredients that you know something about that you can speak to. And that's a great way to get more information. So thank you for sharing that, Cathy. That's awesome. Okay.
What we have to remember too is that every man and woman needs what we have. You know, the way I look at it is I drive around town, I go like, okay, there's the doctor's office, or here's the lawyer's office, or here's the manufacturing facility. Lots of people have skin in there. So, I try to find somebody that works there, or I get in and try to find somebody and just share it with offer it to everybody. Just talk to everybody. You don't have to know everything. Just have a passion, have a mindset that, if they say no, that's okay. I always say, next, who's next, And I say, if you don't want my product, hey, you can be wrinkly and look old all you want to. I just go like, have a winning mindset that you're going to do this. And
I love it.
Keep your goals in front of you. And what I always say is never, never, never give up, because you're going to have some, ups and downs and everything like that. But don't think you have to know everything. Just to have a passion about what you do.
Right.
And I've worked for this company for years. I love this company. I love the products, and I just share them. It just comes natural. So
Love it. Well, we love you. I think that's going to be my phrase that we took from this training. Thank you, next.
that's right. Yeah.
That's our motto. Thank you, next. You got to own it,
I
right?
love that. That's great.
I love it. Me too. You guys are awesome. Okay. I think we've gotten all the questions. So that is perfect. I appreciate you guys taking your time out on this Wednesday evening to chat with us. You guys are absolutely crushing the sponsoring game. Tammy needs to be included in another drawing. So you know what that means. By next week, we need to have another 9.
There you go.
We do.
We're working on it.
I love it. I know you are. You guys are killing it. All right. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you next Wednesday. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.